Hello and welcome to Runkle of the Bailey. My name is Ian Runkle. I'm a Canadian criminal defense and firearms lawyer. Today I want to talk about the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. And I know this was a long time ago, but recently we just got access to the transcripts, and this is letting us look under the hood of the trial and see some of the stuff that we just couldn't see when the trial was going on. So there's a lot of fun moments that we just couldn't see at the time, and now that we can get a little more insight. And the one I want to look at today is while Dr. Shannon Curry was testifying. She was being cross-examined by Elaine Bredehoff. And Elaine tries something sneaky. She wants to confuse the jury. And it doesn't really work. It kind of blows up in her face. She tries to save it, but really because she slipped up, she got something in front of the jury that she really did not want to get in front of the jury. And we didn't really spot this at the time because we couldn't see what happened during the sidebars. But now that we know, we have a little bit of a better idea. So I'm going to run this clip here. We'll see Dr. Curry. We'll see this critical moment, and then I'll talk about what's going on behind the scenes. Okay, here we go.
And you have not made any determinations, including any of opinions that Ms. Heard abused Mr. Depp or Mr. Depp abused Ms. Heard, correct?
Correct. That's outside of the scope of psychology.
Okay. And you cannot testify whether Amber Heard suffered any emotional distress as a result of any of the defamatory comments that she has alleged Mr. Waldman made through Mr. Depp made through Mr. Waldman, correct?
What I can testify is that there was no indication of a decline in psychological functioning showing any injury since she's been with Mr. Depp.
You cannot testify one way or the other on that, correct? Your Honor, may we approach?
Okay.
All right. Now, in the trial, all of this, so this is silenced out on YouTube, but if you're actually sitting in that courtroom, they're blasting the room with white noise right now. So there's just no way to find out what is going on until we get access to the transcripts. So let's go and have a look at the transcripts right now, and we'll see what's happening at this moment. So this is the transcript of this particular moment, and we can see this is just the sidebar here where it's all starting out. You know, we've got Ms. Bredehoff, Your Honor, may we approach? The court says, okay. And so this is the part that's happening that we couldn't see at the time. So Ms. Bredehoff says, Your Honor, she was specifically prohibited from testifying to any emotional distress relating to defamation. She was trying to throw in a little extra there. What this means is that in a motion ahead of time, a motion in limine, they actually prevented her from being able to testify about this thing. And so what Ms. Bredehoff is trying to do, she's asking this witness, you can't testify about this, right? And this is a little bit of an equivocation. This is a little bit of sleight of hand, because what she's asking really is, we stopped you from giving your opinions on this. It's not that you don't have any opinions or that you don't think you can answer this question. It's that we asked the court to prevent you from answering this question on the stand. But then they ask her, you can't testify about this one way or the other on that, correct? And she says, well, yeah, I can tell you that. And she proceeds and does so. And that's why Ms. Bredehoff wants to go up and speak to the court. She's upset that she got this answer when what she really wanted was an answer saying, no, I can't testify to that. And think about how the jury would react to that. The jury would take that as a statement that she doesn't know, that this is not something that she's able to determine, not something that is a question that Ms. Curry can answer. But the court doesn't really have this. Let's go through the transcript and sort of keep reading and see how the court deals with this, because Ms. Bredehoff kind of played herself here. So, Your Honor, she was specifically prohibited from testifying to any emotional distress related to defamation. She was trying to throw in a little extra there. And Mr. Dennison, who you saw going up there to address this, is, well, you asked the question directly. Ms. Bredehoff says, I did, because I wanted to establish she can't. Now, again, that's, you know, this was just, she was barred from testifying about this as an expert. But if Ms. Bredehoff, who went and got that application and and got that that barrier, goes and asks the question, that's going to open the door and that's going to allow the witness to answer it. And in fact, that's what the court says. So Judge A says, well, if you ask the question, though, you're saying she's banned from answering, but then you ask the question. And so when you have a witness who's prevented from answering certain questions, you're also not allowed to ask them those questions. Because if you do, then they're going to answer. That's a restriction on counsel. And because this was Ms. Bredehoff's application to get that prevented, if she answers that or if she asks that question, it's coming in. It's going to be, the jury's going to hear it. So the court, or Ms. Bredehoff says, all right, I will clear it up then. I think she can't. And the court says, she can if you ask the question, though. That's the problem. And Ms. Bredehoff should have known that. This was an attempt to pull a little trick on the jury and leave them with the wrong impression. And the court says, no, this trick is blown up in your face, and that's on you. Ms. Bredehoff says, I don't agree with that. She didn't give that opinion, and then there's an indiscernible moment. Unfortunately, the transcripts can't necessarily pick up everything. She didn't give that in her designation. The court says, but if you ask the question, she's going to answer it. Ms. Bredehoff says, okay, Your Honor, I'll clean it up, and then I'm done. And Mr. Dennison says, thank you, Your Honor. The court just says, yep. And they reopen court. So now we can see how she's going to try to clear this up. Because she's just kind of screwed herself, right? She's gotten that detail that she really didn't want the jury to hear. She fought before court to keep them from hearing it. And then she wanted to play this game to pretend that, that this was something that Ms. Curry couldn't answer. She really didn't want this detail out. And then she's managed to drop that in the jury slap. So let's hear how she tries to clear this up.
Dr. Curry.
Yes.
In your report, nowhere in your report did you provide any opinion of whether Ms. Heard suffered emotional distress as a result of the defamatory statements. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
All right, redirect.
You can see that she's still playing the game there. Nowhere in your report did you provide an opinion about this. Why didn't she put it in her report? Oh, right, because she was prevented from offering opinions about that through those pretrial motions. So once again, she's trying to play that tricky game, and she kind of gets away with it a little bit on that second moment. But that information was already out there now, that Amber suffered no psychological injury as a result of this. And yeah, it was something that Elaine had to fight hard to try to keep out. And because she screwed up, because she tried to get a little too clever, she brought it right back in, and the jury got to hear it. I didn't notice this at the time of the trial because we didn't have this transcript. But now that I'm getting to go through all of this, I'm finding all of these little moments, and I just want to share them with you guys. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this one to be interesting and educational. I'm really enjoying going through and having a look at some of these little bits and pieces. Let me know if you want me to keep going through these with you, because I think they're fun, but I don't know. Other people may have different thoughts. So let me know in the comments below. Please like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to see more content. I also want to thank my Patreon supporters at the $50 level, CCFR, CAIM, Canada's National Firearms Association, and the Canadian Shooting Sports Association. At the $30 level, Sights and Arms Limited and Jane Babin Luxor. And at the $20 level, Lindsay Metcalf, Larry Kalniak, Here's a Coin, Legal Witcher, Cameron Johnson, Andrew Elsich, Vicky, and Dorky Dane. Thank you as well to my $10 supporters who will be in the crawl immediately following. Thank you for watching. I hope this is armed you with knowledge. See you next time.